think I told you yesterday that we're gonna probably incubate some more eggs starting next week. So that should give us, I don't know, hopefully 30 to 40 chickens by the end of the season. We're gonna call it the season, before fall, before it gets too cold to really do anything. I think 30 to 40 chickens would be pretty good. We had 25 last year, but they were actual meat birds. They were Cornish cross, so they'll be bigger than these guys right here. These guys will be 4 to 6 pounds. We won't get a lot of meat out of them, but we're kind of hoping, since it was free, it's not a big waste of money or anything. They eat what they eat, and we'll butcher them. We got these guys down here. These guys are a little bit bigger, but I would imagine that's because they came from the Buff Orpingtons and the New Hampshires. But these guys here, the darker ones, came from Americanas. Now the golden ones, those are the Brahmas. We bought those, and they're supposed to be really big birds. So next year we'll breed those guys and we'll get meat birds out of them. I do wish that we would have gotten the full 22 eggs to incubate, but we only got 15. It sure would have made things a little better. Obviously, getting the 22 would have been better. And it's almost ridiculous to say, but the problem is the season that I said, you can only do so many batches because we just don't have a huge facility here. I don't know, maybe in the future we'll build up so we can have more segregation. I guess we're kind of building up now. I've showed you the IBC tank that we're going to make into a chicken coop here in the next week or two. That give us a little bit of extra room. Then we'll have another one where we can do a third batch. But we're going to have to expand the chicken run at some point in order to do this. They say that a chicken needs 10 square feet of chicken run space to be comfortable. Well, we got 300 square feet now. That would be 30 chickens. We got 16 in there right now. Then we'll have the Brahmas. That's another 7. So what is that, 23? So we don't have a lot of running space. Now, we are going to get some snow fencing. And what that is, you'll see it in Iowa a lot. It keeps the snow from drifting up on the roads. And we're going to get some of that. I've told you this before, and we'll run it here. That'll give us a little bit more room of chicken run. And that's temporary. We can take that down, put it back up temporarily as needed. So we got some ideas on how to make this work. We can open up the other side, do the same thing, put some snow fencing over there, and then at night close it all back up so predators can't get in. Now we'll have to have tarps for that too. We got so many flying predators around here, it's ridiculous. We got all those eagles. I showed you all the eagles in the past. I would imagine we have 3 that live in the vicinity at least. They were right across the street the other day, well, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, eating some dead carcass on the road. So next year, you know, after we get this chicken coop in, we'll probably get another IBC tank. That'll give us 2. By next year, we should be able to do 3 batches. So that would be 60 potential birds, 66 potential birds. If you take that down to 15, which is what we got out of this one, that'd be 45. The nice thing is those will be Brahmas, and they'll be much bigger, huge. So we'll get a lot of chicken meat out of that. A lot of people have been asking me about the garden. Well, the garden's in bad shape. I think I showed you that the other day. We've gotten so much rain, everything has just gotten flooded. The garden's still flooded. It hasn't rained in a few days. I mean, it's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful day for 4 or 5 days, but it has rained nonstop all spring. It's been cold. So we might get some tomatoes. We're not going to raise any corn. It's just, I don't know, not worth it. And I have learned a lot about corn. If we're going to raise corn, it'll be for the chickens. But corn, it'd be nice to have for corn on the cob as a snack. But it's just bad for you. It's got tons of carbohydrates. And your body changes carbohydrates into sugars. What I find interesting is how many people don't know what a carbohydrate is, which I guess if you're not really into studying all this stuff, it doesn't seem to make much sense. I remember one that long ago, Carolyn kept talking about carbohydrates. She didn't want to eat carbohydrates. And I thought, oh, that's ridiculous. Why? You mean I can't have bread? Well, turns out, no, you shouldn't have bread. Bread is terrible for you. It's a corn product, wheat, all of it. And Google really makes this easy. All you gotta do is say, how much carbohydrates does corn have? How much carbohydrates does wheat have? And you can ask all these questions, and most vegetables have carbohydrates, sugar. And then we get into processed foods, which, what did we use in processed foods? Corn. And it's all just garbage, noodles, carbohydrates, corn. So Carolyn and I have been on this carnivorous diet, and I've told you I feel 100% better. Well, now the vegetarians will come out and say, oh, you're crazy, it's terrible for you. Okay, fine. I'm gonna say fine for now. I'm not upset about that. But I don't entirely agree with you. If you want to be a vegetarian, I would say that the carnivorous diet is probably better, but that's fine. You want to be a vegetarian, it's still good for you because you're getting off the processed foods, you're getting off the garbage. And that's what really is killing everybody. The other day, I got in a discussion about carbohydrates in the comment section. And people were telling me that such and such food has carbohydrates and this has carbohydrates and everything. I said popcorn has carbohydrates. And somebody says, no, it doesn't. And all you gotta do is Google it. How much carbohydrates does popcorn have? And it was like, I don't know. Don't quote me, but it was like, I don't know, 6, 7, 10 grams. And then she said, oh, I knew it wasn't that much. My doctor said it was okay to eat popcorn. That's sugar. And she said she was a diabetic. She's eating sugar, carbohydrates, sugar. So the doctor must not know what carbohydrates are. Corn has 19, just regular corn. Corn is terrible. Yeah, doctors will tell you to eat corn. All the while they're pumping you full of drugs so that they can make lots of money. And that's what I'm trying to explain is, if they're telling you to get off sugar, you gotta get off carbohydrates. And if they say you can eat this or that and it has carbohydrates in it, they're lying to you. And we know that doctors lie. The more we went through this pandemic, the more we realized the doctors are lying to us. Then somebody said, well, it's not the popcorn's bad for you, it's the butter. That's got all the carbohydrates. And so I Googled it. And of course, Google gets a little confused sometimes, and it depends on how you ask the question. I Googled it and it says, how many carbohydrates does butter have? And it said, butter has 0 carbohydrates. Because I talk into my phone and it talks back to me. Well, then somebody said, you're a liar. Yeah, it has carbohydrates. And so he said, all you got to do is ask, does butter have carbohydrates? And when you ask it that way, it said, yes, it has carbohydrates. But then it gives you the ingredients list on the side of the web page on Google. You look at carbohydrates, it said 0. I believe it's 0 because butter is a meat product. Meat does not have carbohydrates. There are 0 carbohydrates in meat. But all that being said, it's the garbage that is killing us. I've been watching this doctor on YouTube, and he's big in the carnivorous diet, and that's where I've gotten this. Carolyn, who loves vegetables, she absolutely loves them, has seen the benefits in meat since she has stopped eating a large quantity of carbohydrates. She has seen a huge benefit from it. She's got a serious back problem. Although the back problem will never go away because it's a crushed disc, the eating of the meat, my mind, her mind, our minds, the inflammation around it has went away. So it doesn't hurt quite as bad. It's not debilitating now when she strains her back. My shoulder, I really thought I wasn't going to be able to swing that axe anymore. And after I started eating meat, the inflammation in that shoulder went away. And all the little aches and pains are going away. So the other day, I was surprised to hear somebody say, I would love to live your lifestyle, but I got to live vicariously through you because I can't breathe. I have to live on oxygen 24 hours a day. And I wondered if this person has tried to get off carbohydrates, or as many carbohydrates as absolutely possible, or even tried a carnivorous diet. Last year, I was pretty sure that I was going to have to end living off grid. I was pretty convinced of it. I didn't know how much longer I had, but my lungs were in bad shape. I couldn't breathe anymore. After years of smoking, I quit smoking, 8 years ago now? Almost 10 years ago? I don't know. But I'd smoked since I was 9 years old. And I had resigned to the fact that my lungs weren't going to be able to do this lifestyle. I was pretty confident. And then I had this bout with seasonal allergies, hay fever, and it wouldn't go away last year. Last spring, it was so miserable. So I ended up getting Flonase finally, and that relieved the symptoms. But I couldn't breathe. So I got an inhaler, Primatene Mist. You can buy those over the counter on Amazon. And that was helping. And then Carolyn was having me use a nebulizer with salt water and food grade peroxide. You can buy this stuff. It's just specifically designed to help with inflammation in your lungs. And it was working okay. It would relieve the symptoms at the moment, but the symptoms would come back. So last year, you know, I had to climb this hill to get a bunch of firewood. And I was taking one log all the way down the hill and all the way up the hill. And it was killing me. I mean, I was using that inhaler. I was overdosing on it. It was terrible. I couldn't even walk up the hill to go to the gas station. It's about a half a mile away up the hill without losing my breath. I mean, I just couldn't get up the hill. Now, I've always been pretty active. I've not been terribly overweight all my life. I mean, I've gotten to a point where I thought, well, I'm starting to get a little big, but I've always been fairly healthy until last year. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do about it. You know, having to haul firewood and walk up this hill all the time. I just wasn't sure. Well, then I started eating meat. And my breathing, I would say, is 80 to 90% improved if I had to put a number to it. It's massively improved. As a matter of fact, I walked up to the gas station. I haven't done it all winter because I couldn't breathe. But I went up to the gas station the other day. I thought, I'll walk, I feel all right. And I took my inhaler with me just in case. And I didn't even realize it, but I made it to the gas station all the way home, and I started taking the inhaler out of my pocket, throw it back on the shelf. I haven't used it hardly at all. So if you can click that button down there at the bottom that says super thanks, I appreciate it. So I hope I can inspire you to take a look at your diet so you can live healthy when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.